Hey YouTube, how is it going today? Well, the market is still bipolar. It doesn't know what the heck it wants to do, but the good news is we all still have TSNP. And it is time for another update video on TSNP Enterprises. So I'm going to go over the recent chart action and see where the stock could be going next. And then as always, I have some other nice looking charts that I want to show you guys, and then I'll get into some of your questions. All right, I haven't done a TSNP update video in about a week or so, and it has been the most requested video in the last couple of days, so I'm going to get right into it. This is the daily chart of TSNP Enterprises, and since the last video, it had a move down through the 21-period exponential moving average, but then the following day, it had an immediate gap up reversal, and then it gapped up above the 8-period exponential moving average again. Now, it did sell off down back to the 21-period exponential moving average in the next couple of days, but it held it, and then it gapped up again today. Even though it is being sold off at the moment because there is pressure on the overall market, it's still a pretty bullish sign, and if it can hold that 8-period exponential moving average today, that is going to be a very bullish sign. TSNP is actually, the name is going to be changed in the next couple of days, I believe, to HUMBL. Their ticker symbol is going to be changed, so there could be a little bit of hype surrounding that. That could be why people are piling in right now. But if we look a little bit closer at the chart, let's go to the hourly chart and take a closer look of how this trend is playing out. Now, as we can see, it looks like it's starting to carve out a bottom, and a lot of these stocks, when they're trying to carve out a bottom, it looks kind of like an inverse head and shoulders pattern, which of course is a very bullish sign. You got the shoulder, you got the head, and then you have the other shoulder, and it is now gapping above this 8-period exponential moving average on the hourly chart, so it needs to hold that. Now, let me get this out of the way real quick. And then we can draw this uptrend line. What we want to do is keep the stock above this uptrend line to make sure we can carve out a decent looking bottom so we can have the potential of making it to a new high. Right now, it is looking pretty good in my opinion. So I think that this stock is starting to build up some more momentum. And if we zoom in just a little bit closer, what we notice is now that it's coming out of the other side of this bottoming pattern, what are we starting to see down here? We're starting to see a lot more green bars pile up. So it looks like the momentum is shifting in the buyer's favor, and they're starting to take their positions again. You can see on the way down, it was pretty clear to see that the sellers were in control. But when you look for a stock that is starting to bottom out, what you want to do is you want to see those green bars start to get larger than the red bars, and you want to see them start to outnumber them. And that's exactly what's happening with TSNP. Now, of course, there's no guarantee this thing is going to make it to a new high, but this is the foundation that needs to be laid in order for that to happen. So TSNP, in my opinion, is still carving out a nice looking bottom. Every time you think the stock might be topping out, it just starts to carve out another bottom, and buyers start pouring back into this stock. So as far as I'm concerned, the chart looks pretty healthy as far as a reversal goes. Let me get this thing out of here real quick. Let's take one more look at the daily chart. But it is holding that 21-period exponential moving average perfectly. Now, if you're not familiar with my channel, the white line is the 8-period exponential moving average, and this is important for the short-term trend. If you want to be in the short-term trend, you want it to be holding that 8-period exponential moving average. Now, this purple line is the 21-period exponential moving average, and this one is important for the medium to long-term trend. So you can have these deep pullbacks that break through that 8-period exponential moving average, and the trend can still be intact. It can still be a healthy pullback in the long term if it can hold that 21-period exponential moving average and then start to round up. Now, it is in the beginning stages of that happening, so that's exactly what you want to see if you're a long-term shareholder in TSNP. Well, that is if you're looking at the charts. A lot of people don't care about the charts, but I like to look at the charts to see what's going on underneath. But TSNP, in my opinion, still looks really healthy, and it's still a hold in my opinion. So let's get into some of the other charts. All right, well, the first one I want to show you guys is Uranium Energy Corporation, and this is sticking with the theme that I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks or so, as I'm starting to see a lot of volume pouring into some of these lower price commodity type stocks. Actually, there's been a lot of volume pouring into all of the commodity type stock. They don't have to be lower price stocks at all. Ticker symbol on this one is UEC, and this one has been heading up ever since November when it was around $1. Now it's sitting at $1.32. And if we back out a little bit, we can see it had a little bit of a false breakout in January, pulled back down to slightly above that 50-period simple moving average, and is now shot to a new high and is holding those new highs. We got a little bit of a bullish triangle formation happening at the moment, and it looks like it could be winding up to bust to a new high. And the way that the stock market is going, I think more money is probably going to funnel into some of these plays that are working. So it wouldn't surprise me one bit if the moves in some of these commodity type stocks starts to accelerate if the market continues to get weak, because that's what usually happens when the market starts to roll over and people start selling out of some of their issues. What they want to do is put it to work in ones that are working, and a lot of these commodity stocks are doing just that. The next one I want to show you is Phoenix. PHX, it's actually not Phoenix, it is PHX Minerals, but they are also in the oil and gas sector, and that is all I am seeing showing up on my scans for the most part are commodity type plays. And PHX has been in a pretty nice tight uptrend. It's not a huge mover, but it just continues to follow those moving averages up. And when you see a stock that has a nice clean uptrend like this, that is following the moving averages just perfectly, pretty much, those are ones that are great to get into and just hold them, because once they fail those moving average, it's a really clear signal. It's time to move on. Now this one is holding them quite nicely, and it looks like it is poised to break out because it's holding the 8-period exponential moving average. It's moving off of it right now. Now again, this one's probably not going to have a huge explosion to the upside. I mean, who knows? It might, especially with the way oil's been trading. But PHX is certainly in a nice uptrend, and that is nice to have in this type of market environment because there isn't a whole lot that are in uptrends. Another one I want to show you is CTG. CTG is busting out to a new high. It's actually a $8 stock at the moment, so it's a little bit higher than the $5 cap that I like to look at, but I want to show you guys as many nice looking charts as I can because there isn't a whole lot of them out there. This one is coming out of that rounding bottom just perfectly. You got the big volume coming in on the right side, which is telling you that this is probably going to be a good breakout and not a false breakout. But it broke through that resistance area right around $7.25, and it's holding it nicely. We're getting a little bit of, I would actually call this a follow through because the market is so weak. But if this can hold up, kind of go sideways to these moving averages catch up to it, I think there's a good possibility it's going to get another leg up. So CTG is one that is definitely on my watch list to see if it can hold up near these highs for those moving averages to catch up. Another one I want to show you is TMST. And this one is in the steel industry. It's breaking up all the way to $8 a share, almost $9 a share as I'm recording this video, but a nice looking rounded bottom and then the explosion, and surprise, surprise, it's another commodity type of stock. I'm telling you guys, money is starting to pour into these stocks, and I think it's going to accelerate if the market rolls over. That's just my opinion, but it seems like that has happened. I've observed that happening many times in the past, so I'm thinking it might happen again. Another one that I want to show you is PAAS, which of course is Pan American Silver Corporation. And they are starting to round into a nice rounding bottom. It's a $35 stock, but we're starting to see a lot of nice chart patterns in this silver sector. And if you wanted to get one that was a little bit higher, this is a very nice looking chart pattern at the moment. And I'm betting that silver is probably going to be moving higher soon. So PAAS is probably going to go up as well. Another stock that is in that sector that is lower priced is ASM. We can see this one has moved up and it is holding the 8-period exponential moving average right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if ASM busts out to a new high in the next few days or so, especially if the market continues to get weak, because a lot of money tends to flow into gold and silver when the market rolls over. It seems like now a lot of people are going into some of the Bitcoin plays and Bitcoin itself. But I bet there's still going to be plenty of money left over to go into the precious metals sector. Another one I wanted to show you is SVM. Silver Corp Metals is also making a very nice looking rounding bottom. It's starting to come out the right side of that rounding bottom. It looks like it is poised to get above that 200 period simple moving average. This one is one you want to just keep an eye on. It's not ready to buy just yet. We want to see it build some momentum, get over the 200 period simple moving average, and start to carve out a nice bottom and start to round up just a little bit higher, get into like the lower 7s to mid 7s, and then I would be a little bit more interested. Because I have a bullish outlook on silver, I'm pretty confident that SVM is probably going to do exactly what I just said, so that's why I'm keeping that one on my watch list. But SVM is making a very nice looking pattern at the moment. And what I want to go into next is a question. I had a question from Corner House Dental Practice, and he was asking me about Sundial. And we actually have a couple guys in the Patreon that I think are still holding Sundial. And Sundial is actually holding up very well, all things considered, that's going on with the market. I would like to see Sundial get back above that 8-period exponential moving average, but with all that's happening in the market, Sundial actually has some pretty good relative strength. So if you are holding this stock, I would just continue to hold it, because I think if the market starts to turn around, which I think the Fed is going to come to the rescue in probably another week, maybe at the most, and push the market back up, and I think Sundial should be strong. Let's go to the 15-minute chart real quick. But if we go to the 15-minute chart, we can see that it held this support area just perfectly when it came crashing down from that temporary climax top that it had, right to almost $4 a share. Came down, it held that support area, and it looks like it's bouncing off of it at the moment. So that is a very good sign. And I think if the market gets strong, Sundial could have a decent run coming out of it. But that is my opinion on SNDL. If you're holding it, I would continue to hold. If you're not in it yet and you're just considering it, I would wait to see if it strengthens up a little bit more and gets above that 8-period exponential moving average, plus the market itself strengthening. If the market starts to bottom and starts to bounce and Sundial Growers is above that moving averages, I think it is a prime candidate for another move up and being a strong stock coming out of this pullback. All right, guys, well, that's all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions about any of these stocks, or if you have any other stocks you want me to take a look at, please leave them down there in the comment section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, guys, and until next time, take care.